Capitol Report. Linda McMahon delivers a second bull punch to Chris Murphy as President Obama's August lead shrinks. Can blue Connecticut go red?
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
The McMahon campaign says Chris Murphy is Ferris Bueller.
Bueller.
Dan Malloy stumps for Obama in New Hampshire.
Baby, don't you wanna go?
Will the progressives make up with Elizabeth Esty?
You complete me.
Rick Santorum tips his hand.
I shook the hands of farmers and ranchers.
Getting rid of that pesky Obama bumper sticker, and the political app of the week. All this week on Capitol Report. And welcome to Capitol Report. I am Tom Dutchick. The balloons have dropped. The confetti is being swept off the set here. The streamers are put away. Another rousing show on Capitol Report. Joining us, Tanya Meck, Marty Dunleavy, the great Jody Latina, and with us again, the great Brian Hill. Hey, Mitt Romney gave quite the rousing speech. Let's have a quick look at that.
Hope and change had a powerful appeal. But tonight, I'd ask a simple question. If you felt that excitement when you voted for Barack Obama, shouldn't you feel that way now that he's President Obama? President Obama promised to begin to slow the rise of the oceans. And to heal the planet. My promise is to help you and your family.
That's right in the wheelhouse, Jody Latina, huh? What do you think? Put your Republican pom-poms on and give us the rah-rah right now.
It was great. It galvanized everybody together. We learned a lot about who Mitt Romney is. We got to see the sensitive sides of him. I think it was a solid speech. I think he did what he had to do. I think he made some very good points. And quite frankly, I think walking away from that convention, Republicans are on a high note. I think the message was Obama has failed the nation. One and done, as our friend Craig said.
Marty, quickly, give us your thought. Then I'm going to go to Brian to get his. Since this is the Republican, next week we'll talk about the Democrats convention, but let's not rain on their parade that much.
Okay, well, the convention was like a remake of The Wizard of Oz. No heart, no brain, no courage, a dog on the roof, and they were off to see the wizard.
That's a great line. Brian Hill, what do you think?
I thought it was an excellent convention. It crescendoed to the high point of Romney's speech. I thought he did an excellent job. He hit the points. He stayed on message. He talked about his programs and policies and how they're going to change America, and that's what we need to focus on. As long as we stick to the facts, as long as we stick to our policies, we're going to win this race.
Tanya, in the end, it's about jobs and the economy. So conventions matter, maybe not. What's your take?
No, I think conventions do matter. They matter. They're supposed to be sort of your debutante ball, right? A term that I'm sure the Romneys are very familiar with. Your coming out party, your introduction outside your base. I'm glad that the Republicans were jazzed and engaged and thought he gave a good message about jobs. I actually think it fell short on a couple of different points, and I found the entire thing fairly uninspired.
Marty, the latest Quinnipiac University poll that came out this week has Obama up by a mere 7 points.
A mere 7 points.
In an extremely blue Connecticut.
A mere 7 points.
A mere 7 points.
I think you can win. You know what? It's outside the margin of error.
I think you can win.
I don't think there'll be any recounts. But I'll take 7 points any day of the week against a man who was the governor of a neighboring state. Yes.
But when you consider the fact, Jody, that he beat John McCain by 23 points, there's a lot of people out there that are going the other way this time.
Yeah, sometimes the Yankees win by 1, sometimes the Red Sox win by 5.
But the bottom line is you got to get to the pennant, you got to get through it all. And how is the next 4 years going to be any different? And that's what people are thinking about.
What do we think about Paul Ryan? He had a very interesting take on the whole blame Bush mantra of the Democratic Party. Watch this.
And the story that Barack Obama does tell, forever shifting blame to the last administration, is getting old. The man assumed office almost 4 years ago. Isn't it about time he assumed responsibility? College graduates should not have to live out their 20s in their childhood bedrooms, staring up at fading Obama posters and wondering when they can move out and get going with life.
So Tanya, when are they going to get going in life here? That's a great message. I mean, there's a great ad out there, the fading Obama poster.
Yeah, well, listen, so this is not so difficult to understand. We talked about hope and change early on. Everybody was really jazzed. It's like a marriage, right? You get all excited, you got those rose-colored glasses on, and then all of a sudden you have to deal with budget realities. There are issues. You have discussions about who's going to take care of the kids, who's going to walk the dog, how are you going to make ends meet. You actually get down to the real nitty-gritty of how to make it work. And yeah, are you seeing people who are a little less enthusiastic about an Obama candidacy? Sure. That's because he's in the mix and he knows he's got to deal with the hard stuff.
The enthusiasm,
sure.
the enthusiasm deficit.
Listen, Mitt Romney can talk a good game too. He's talking about changing the country. He's talking about working for working people. You know, if he would win, and I don't think he will, 4 years, he's not going to have this ship turned around either.
All right, 13 million unemployed?
Wait a second. We cut the unemployment rate today by a half, because last night on the convention they were saying there was 27 million unemployed.
27 million.
Now there's only 13 million unemployed. Obama's doing a great job.
5 million without paychecks.
Obama.
You keep believing that, Marty.
Hey, what do we make of Chris Christie? I thought he did a pretty good job. Watch what he said here.
Now, I know this simple truth, and I am not afraid to say it. Our ideas are right for America, and their ideas have failed America.
Failed ideas. Brian, what do you think? Failed
I think
ideas.
he's absolutely right. I liked a lot of quotes by Chris Christie. You know, he's one of my favorites. But he said that we need politicians who are more concerned about doing something and less concerned about being something. And that's what's wrong with Connecticut. We have politicians in office like Chris Murphy and Blumenthal who are more concerned with being in office than they are about doing stuff. So we need to start telling the people the truth and start moving this country forward. I forget who it was that said that people who are good at making excuses are seldom good at anything else. Well, Obama has made excuses since he got into office, and it's time for a change.
Martin, you can't let that go by.
Listen, the fact is that every single piece of legislation that Obama has proposed for the last 3 years, not the first year he was in office, but the last 3 years, has been stymied by a Republican Congress. And that includes all of the efforts. Well, listen, excuses. It's not excuses.
Excuses.
All the efforts to get this economy back on track has been stopped by the obstructionists. And your folks should be tried for treason because they're putting their party in front of their country.
Well, listen, I have a question for
Marty,
Tony
you spit
and
out enough hot air to send a Goodyear blimp to the moon.
So I have a question.
No, I'm serious. It's treasonous.
It's coming out of
treasonous what your folks have done.
Treasonous is what Obama is doing, taking this country back. We went to $10 trillion to a $16 trillion debt in less than 4 years. 8% unemployment. We never got below 8% unemployment.
Okay, let's talk.
The gallon of gas has gone more than double. The gallon of gas.
That's BS.
Where is this policy on? Where is this policy on Syria?
You are absolutely wrong.
Policy on
How about
Egypt?
that first
What
$10
is
million?
the Obama
How about
policy
that
on
first
Israel?
$10 million?
What is their policy?
Marty.
They have no policy.
Okay.
Time out.
You got it,
There you go. A heated discussion on Capitol Report. Hey, you know who else?
Idiot.
You know who else was
Exactly.
He
is
You're
an
in
idiot.
timeout. You're in timeout.
You're taking the timeout chair. Hey, you know who else? Governor Malloy was in. He was in Seacoast, New Hampshire, and he was rallying the troops. He was kind of almost as feisty as you. Hey, watch what Malloy had to say.
We cannot afford what Republicans will do to this country. I mean, these are the folks who drove the truck into the ditch and now stand on us alongside the ditch and say, hey, you're not moving that quick enough. These are the folks who want to control women, want to control children. These are the folks who would take America apart as we know it.
See, Marty, controlling women, take America apart as we know it. I mean, that's pretty strong rhetoric from Governor 88.
It's true. And it's true. The fact is that this election is really about the direction of the country. And I'm very pleased that we're continuing on a course that puts working families first. People who want to put wealthy people first, God bless you, go be.
Speaking of class warfare, watch what Malloy has to say about the rich.
You and I believe that America's strength is its people. They believe that America's strength is its rich people. Anybody who votes for this team is out of their mind. When telling the truth doesn't work for Republicans, they tell little lies.
Well, yeah. Well, here's what I think. You know, Scott, throw up that map of blue and red Connecticut. Look at this. Marty, so now you look at the blue. If you were visiting distant galaxies, right, and you came back and you said, who is the governor of the state of Connecticut? You'd say the red guy, right? The red guy. Well, guess what? It's the blue guy. So when he says that you got to be crazy to be voting for these guys, that's the majority of that state, of our state.
No, that's a town map. It doesn't talk about density of population.
Well, that's right.
It doesn't. The density of population is in the city.
The point of the story is that there's a significant vote in this state for Republicans. I mean, most of the municipal offices are held by Republicans.
No, that's not true, Tom.
That is true.
It is true. That is true.
That is true. 105 of the 169 towns in this state are controlled by Republicans via the chief executive officer.
That's right. But when you go,
a majority
when you go through
town council,
when you go through all the elected officials, the Democrats still have a majority of elected officials in this state.
Well, and furthermore, they have the constitutional office, the governor's office. They've got majorities in the House and the Senate as well. So it's fine to look at that map.
And
certainly there are Republicans in the state.
Marty, did you guys see Rick Santorum's speech? We have a mashup of his comments about hands. Watch this.
I shook the hands of farmers and ranchers because I held its hand. Hands weathered and worn. Hands, I've gripped hands, hands. I clasped hands, hands and hands. I held hands, hands, hands with the hands. Their hands, hands of leaders, hands, the dirty hands. I shook the hand of the American dream.
Tom, that's just downright mean.
Hands. All hands on deck. When Capitol Report returns, there are more polls out this week. Linda McMahon up on Murphy. We'll talk about that when Capitol Report returns. Don't go away.